child. Sit close and listen. Long ago, before books and ballots, before cities and crowns, our people had their own way of finding leader. When the time came, the elders gathered, 20 men, young and old. The old chief walked at the front, leaning on his staff. They left the village before sunset, their feet stirring the dust of the earth. As they entered the forest, the light faded from gold to blue. The trees stood tall and quiet, and even the birds seemed to watch. They walked for a long time, following the sound of water until they reached the sacred river. The home of the great serpent Mist hung above the water. The air was cool and still. The elders formed a crescent around the pond and poured milk from their gourds into the river. The chief lifted his hand and called softly, "We seek your guidance, guardian of the waters." The river began to move. Slowly, the water rose and twirled, a misty tornado, and from its heart came the serpent, its scales shining under the moon. 3 scales floated from its body, glowing faintly on the surface. One timid man stepped forward, reached to touch a scale, and it turned to ash. Another man, greedy and proud, tried to grab his chance. The scale burst into flame, burning his hand. Then came the quiet one, humble, patient. He bowed his head and reached out gently. The last scale glowed bright and floated into his hands. The serpent lowered its head and slipped back into the water. The ripples faded. The forest grew silent again. The chief smiled. "I has spoken," he said. "The leader is chosen." And so they walked back under the stars, their hearts at peace. For the river had spoken truth. That, my child, is how a leader was chosen, not by words, but by spirit.